Hello everyone, Evan here with the Locrian Customs. Today we're going to be doing a video on deep cleaning and deep lubrication, and I'm going to show you our process here. I have a field stripped AR-15, and after my preliminary look at it, I'm not really finding too much oil anywhere on the inside. It feels pretty dry, and it's fairly dirty on the inside, and so it needs some love and attention here. I mean, a dirty AR is a pretty common thing since they're so fun to shoot, and I know I like putting over 300 rounds through mine every time I go. So anyway, I'm going to finish taking this apart, and then I'm going to show you the process for the deep cleaning and then how we lubricate things and get it put back together. Be back in a sec. Alright, the rifle is apart as much as I'm going to take it. So for the dust cover, I'll just drop some oil in there, keep it running smooth. It's not really dirty. Not taking the buffer tube off, not taking the takedown pins out. But everything else, this is all the lower receiver parts and the upper receiver parts, and especially stuff like it's the actual bolt right here, and that's pretty dirty. The firing pin is in pretty gross shape. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these parts change color before or after cleaning. So we have a really highly evolved process. I'm going to take the parts over here to my ultrasonic cleaner. It's good for small parts and also cases, spent cases that I'm going to reload. And what I have in the cleaner is a mix of simple green concentrate and water, and I'm going to run it in there, and I will take all of the parts and unceremoniously dump them into the cleaner. It's perfect size for the smaller stuff. So I'm going to finish getting this loaded, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to the upper and lower receiver while the sonic cleaner's going. Be back in a sec. So here's the cleaner, it's going. I don't know if you can really, move the light over here. I don't know if you can really see, but already there are bubbles coming out, and I can literally see the grime coming off. I might have to run this a couple of times, but that's pretty standard. So we got the ultrasonic cleaner going, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray out the inside of the lower receiver and the upper receiver. Mostly the upper receiver. It's a little dirty in there. And for that, I use Simple Green, shameless plug. It's kind of funny with all the solvents and everything else out there that are $6 for a little tiny bottle. This stuff you can get at your local big box retailer for $2, and it gets everything off. So spray that out. Let it run down. just kind of let it soak in for a second. And then we scrub. You can already see, maybe, that stuff on the gas tube there is coming off. I think this stuff works awesome. So I'm going to continue scrubbing, and so I'm sure this is thrilling to watch, and I'll be back when it's time for oiling. So here we are, the ultrasonic cleaner is done, and you can see how gross that water is. So everything now should be ready to be dried and oiled. Alright, so let's take a look at what we have. Everything is now nice and clean. And I actually wound up having to change the water out and put the parts back in the cleaner. You can see the, I don't know if you remember seeing the firing pin before. It was pretty much black on this end. It actually completely changed color to reveal the stainless steel that it actually is. And there's absolutely no oily residue or anything anywhere on the parts now. Simple Green does a really good job of taking care of that. So the next thing that's up is to dry all the parts. You need them to be completely dry when you oil them. Any plain steel parts, you don't want them to corrode and foul up the gun and cause it not to work, so you just really want to make sure everything is completely bone dry before you oil it and put everything back together. And to do that, I have a very high-tech process. I use a cheap hairdryer. So I'm going to spend a few minutes getting the parts completely dry, and next time you see them, we'll be ready for oil. I've got all the parts dried, and now we're ready to oil. I use the break-free CLP. It's good stuff. Just shake it, spray it on. Now I'm going to make sure everything is coated. This is kind of the messy part too, but I'm going to make sure everything is coated, and then comes the fun task of wiping it off. You want everything to be coated, but you don't want it to be drenched. Too much oil will attract dirt and grime into the gun and cause it to foul. But I also take this opportunity to start putting sub-assemblies together, like that's the mag catch. So we'll take the mag catch spring and put that together. And this takes several minutes, so I'm going to get this done, and we'll be back with all of the sub-assemblies put back together, and we'll finish assembling the rifle. So I have the sub-assemblies put back together. I haven't put the forward assist back in yet, but that'll be coming. I have the bolt carrier group all assembled, and I put the buffer back in, and I've installed the hammer and trigger, but I know a lot of people like to put different kinds of grips on their rifle, and I just wanted to mention something to be careful of, and that is the safety detent spring. So you want to take your plunger and just kind of plop it back in there, and it helps if I install the safety properly. There we go. So we've got that. Now the spring for this actually goes in that hole right there. So as we put this back together, we have to be careful not to kink the spring. And you can see it goes right in there. So I'm gonna get this put back together here. And if you got everything lined up, it's just as simple as screwing this back in place, which takes a while. We're getting there. So the pistol grip is back on. Up this way. As you can see, and I like to take this opportunity to do function tests, make sure that the safety is doing what it's supposed to. So the lower receiver is now reassembled. So now it's time, whoa, hello, for the upper receiver. Now, on top of doing the cleaning and everything, I've also I ran a cleaning patch with oil on it down the bore, just to really get a nice light coat of oil. Okay, get the forward assist in. And what I'm doing is looking for daylight in there, because the pin needs to go all the way through. So what I'll do at this point is I'll put some kind of a, I guess you could say, a slave pin through there to make sure that the forward assist stays put, while I drive the pin in from the other side. So this is also where one of my favorite tools, surgical forceps, comes in handy. Helps you get the pin started. And notice I'm doing nice light taps. So at this point, take a pin, So anytime you do roll pins on a firearm, it's not like hammering a nail in place. You don't need to kill it, you just need to tap it in. Several light taps is far better than a couple of hard hits. So now, put the upper receiver back on. So we'll stick the pivot pin in. There we go. Our rifle is assembled. So at this point, I do function tests, make sure everything is working like it's supposed to. I'm also going to pull the trigger and hold it, cycle the action, make sure the disconnector is working, because we don't want hammer follow. Okay. And we are all done with a nice, clean, and functioning rifle. Well, thanks for watching. I just wanted to say that as far as the deep cleaning goes of any firearm, if you're not familiar with how to take it apart and put it back together, take it to a gunsmith. You don't have to do a deep cleaning every single time. Field stripping for most applications is fine, but sometimes older guns or guns that it's been a few years between deep cleanings, you should definitely have it done. I just wanted to show you how involved of a process it is, and thanks for watching.